How's it going, IO? In this video, we're going to give you a major update on the Ruby Rose situation. Talk about the fact that Amanda Bynes has been roaming around the streets naked, and the reason why Twitter is all of a sudden hating on Sweeney. First up, we have an update on the worrying Ruby Rose situation that has been unfolding over the last couple of days. If you didn't know, over the weekend she alerted fans that she would be disappearing from social media for a certain amount of time. The final post she shared before this was a little bit concerning. The actress uploaded an Instagram story on Sunday afternoon announcing that she was logging out of her account until Tuesday. She wrote, "Logging off until the 21st. If you have followed me for long enough, you know that I don't acknowledge tomorrow. I don't celebrate that day. That day has never been a celebration. Some have tried, but it was never a celebration at the time, nor is it now. So please leave it for me this year." But the weird thing is that Ruby posted on her account the very next day, with basically no acknowledgement of her previous post. She shared a video about a dog rescue organization that she's been involved in, and just like that, it seems like she might be back online. But it hasn't stopped people from questioning what she meant when she said that her 37th birthday was nothing to celebrate. In fact, it seems like she hasn't celebrated her birthday at all in the past 3 years. There could be a lot of different reasons for this, but now some fans are speculating that for Ruby, the occasion has always been marked by something traumatic. For instance, the day after her birthday in 2021, Warner Brothers announced that they would be replacing her role on the CW show Batwoman. But most people don't know just how chaotic this was. What happened pretty much derailed her entire career and might have gotten her blacklisted from Hollywood. After she was let go, Ruby accused the studio of wrongful termination and came out with a series of disturbing allegations about her time on the show. She insisted that she was forced back to work just 10 days after a very serious surgery and claimed that working conditions on set were incredibly unsafe. She named and shamed everyone involved with the production, from showrunners to the executive producers and even people at the CW network. Ruby said, "I will come for you, so what happened to me never happens to another person again, and so I can finally take back my life and the truth. Shame on you." She went on to say that she would not return to that awful show if her life depended on it. Ruby ended her statement saying, "They ruined Kate Kane and they destroyed Batwoman, not me. I followed orders, and if I wanted to stay, I was going to have to sign my rights away. Any threats, any bullying tactics or blackmail would not make me stand down." The actress was injured filming a stunt for the show early on in the first season, and she had to undergo surgery for 2 herniated discs. Apparently, Warner Brothers pushed her to return to set just 10 days after the surgery, or the whole crew and cast would be fired. In their own statement, Warner Brothers denied all of her claims and said that she was fired because of complaints about her workplace behavior. The sad thing is that even though she did stand up for herself, the incident really seemed like it impacted her career and labeled her as someone who is difficult to work with. But Ruby's mental health also suffered a lot while she was in a toxic relationship from 2016 to 2018. She was dating Jessica from the Veronicas, which caused a massive feud with her twin sister Lisa. It was such a chaotic situation for everyone involved. In fact, it was so bad that Ruby is currently working on a book that she says will expose everything that they put her through. For now, it looks like she might be back on social media, so let's just hope that she's going to be doing better. Alright, we're moving on to something that is even more concerning. It's been reported that Amanda Bynes was found roaming the streets naked and alone. Eyewitnesses who spoke to TMZ said that she was seen walking near downtown LA early Sunday morning without any clothes. Thankfully, she was cognizant enough to wave a car down, tell the driver that she was coming down from a psychotic episode, and call 911 herself. Amanda was then taken to a nearby police station, where a mental health team determined that she needed to be placed on a 5150 psych hold. So that means that she'll be confined there for 72 hours or longer, while her mental health status gets evaluated. Unfortunately, no one knows exactly what happened to trigger this horrific psychotic episode, but her ex-fiancé Paul Michael spoke to Page 6 and claimed that she's been off her meds in the time leading up to this incident. It was also said that she hasn't been in contact with her family for quite some time. One thing we do know is that Amanda's parents aren't considering another conservatorship for their daughter, despite everything that's just happened. They believe it was actually a good sign that she was at least able to call the police herself, and had the ability to recognize when she needed help. Now, this is incredibly upsetting news when you think about how much progress Amanda has made recently. She was supposed to be joining her fellow cast members from All That for the show's largest reunion since the series ended 18 years ago. People were beyond excited for this. It would have been her first public appearance in a very long time, and just 2 months ago, she said that she was really excited to reunite with her castmates 23 years after the original show ended. But that reunion never happened because Amanda pulled out at the last minute, and the only reason she gave was an unknown illness. What's even sadder is that this incident comes almost 1 year after she was freed from her conservatorship, which lasted close to 9 years. At the time, the judge ruled that it was no longer necessary because the actress was doing very well and looking forward to moving in with her longtime boyfriend Michael. In her statement, she said that she's been working hard to improve her health so that she can live and work independently. The 36-year-old has been living by herself and attending cosmetology classes. In 2019, she earned her associate's degree at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, and she had hopes for developing a fragrance line. So all things considered, it seems like Amanda had really managed to turn her life around. If you've seen recent photos of her, it's obvious that she looks a lot different than fans remember her, but that makes perfect sense. After all, it's been over 10 years since her last film credit. Most people remember her as the it girl of 2000s rom-coms. We're talking about absolute classics like She's the Man and What a Girl Wants. She was literally an icon of that specific genre. Then just when her career seemed to be at its peak in 2010, with her role in Easy A, Amanda abruptly quit acting with a single tweet. She wrote, "Being an actress isn't as fun as it may seem. If I don't love something anymore, I stop doing it. I don't love acting anymore, so I've stopped doing it. I know 24 is a young age to retire, but you heard it here first." Fans were beyond shocked and disappointed because the announcement seemingly came out of nowhere. But in the years following, things started to make a little more sense. Amanda got into a series of legal troubles, including 2 DUI charges and 2 hit-and runs. This is when she started to look unrecognizable, and those infamous photos were taken of her rocking up to court in a long blue wig with multiple piercings and arm tattoos. While all this was going on, she made it abundantly clear that she still had access to her Twitter account. Unfortunately, this is why her breakdown was so well documented. Amanda sent out several nasty tweets about fellow celebrities, mostly attacking their appearance and calling them ugly. For a while, it seemed like no one was safe. Her list included names like Drake, Chrissy Teigen, RuPaul, Miley Cyrus, and even Barack Obama. Surprisingly, some of them actually responded. For whatever reason, Amanda was particularly vicious towards Rihanna. She accused her of trying to be white and said, "Chris Brown beat you because you're not pretty enough." In response, Rihanna tweeted, "You see what happens when they cancel intervention." While some fans found this whole thing hilarious and actively encouraged Amanda to keep going, others realized that it was actually very sad. She later admitted that by that point, her addiction had already cost her several movie roles, so she had nothing left to do but sit at home and troll people on Twitter. Quote, "I was just stuck at home getting high, watching TV and tweeting. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I would wake and bake all day long." She was then placed on psychiatric hold in 2013 and 2014, which eventually led to that conservatorship being granted to her parents. Thankfully, they do seem to have a lot more faith in her now despite everything that's just happened. So let's just hope that what Amanda is going through right now is more of a temporary setback than anything else. Okay, we need to talk about what is going on with Sydney Sweeney, because she's just gotten herself into a bit of hot water with her latest interview. If you didn't know, Sydney shot to fame in 2019 after starring as Cassie on HBO's Euphoria. Her performance earned her international praise from critics and viewers alike, but unfortunately, it wasn't the only thing that people noticed. Cassie was one of the most sexualized characters in the show, and Sydney experienced that same kind of unwanted attention in real life. She recently spoke about it in an interview with The Sun and admitted that she felt ashamed when her body developed earlier than that of her peers. She said, "I had boobs before other girls, and I felt ostracized for it." She said that she was singled out for her physical features at such a young age, and that continued into her acting career. This makes it so easy for people to write off her talent because they only focus on one specific aspect of her appearance, her chest. Sydney says that people assume because she has big boobs and she's blonde, that's all there is to her success. Even though her comments made perfect sense, the interview attracted a lot of criticism online. Many felt that she was needlessly complaining about her body, which is pretty much considered the beauty standard. People called her out for trying to be a victim and said things like, "She didn't get to where she is now because of her acting skills," and "Oh, I'm sure your life has just been awful." But the backlash did spark a really important conversation about the way young girls who develop early often get shamed for it. One user wrote, "Why are people saying such nasty things? She developed before other girls her age, and at a time she felt isolated because of it. How she chooses to show her body now has nothing to do with what she's saying." Others who jumped to Sydney's defense said that she was well within her rights to share her experience. Someone else said, "I feel like every time this girl speaks out about an issue, y'all are quick to just dismiss her as a sex icon who signed up for this, and so you need to unpack that internalized misogyny." Another person wrote, "The reason she's getting hate for this is people genuinely believe that getting objectivized or fetishized is a compliment, and they can't conceive that a man's attention is not being some type of privilege." It's worth noting that some people pointed to Sydney's nude scenes in Euphoria as evidence that she's totally fine with being objectified, which is completely ridiculous, and something that she's had to address several times. Apart from that, the actress has also been very honest about her pay, and that's something that really rubbed people the wrong way. Last year, she made headlines when she revealed that she still feels the financial pressure pressure of paying her monthly bills. She said, "If I wanted to take a 6-month break, I don't have income to cover that. I don't have someone supporting me. I don't have anyone I can turn to pay my bills or call for help." Although she's doing incredibly well for her age and her net worth is reportedly around $5 million, she claimed that actors just don't get paid like they used to. Among other reasons, Sydney said that streaming sites don't actually provide residuals, which is something that a lot of people might not know. That's why a lot of actors end up living paycheck to paycheck, despite the fact that they've scored major roles on sites like Netflix. She also said that paying her publicist every month costs more than her mortgage, and said that if she just acted, she wouldn't be able to afford her life in LA. Everything totally makes sense, but when that interview came out, it wasn't well received at all. If anything, she came off as tone deaf and unrelatable, even if she was just being honest about her finances. Of course, it had something to do with the fact that people discovered she bought a $3 million house in LA, so the fact that she was complaining about her mortgage actually seemed to fall in the category of rich people problems. But what do you guys think about this latest story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.